All right. Everyone, welcome to the Morphometrics and Color-morphologic Characteristics of Napoleon Wrasse in Captivity sampling session together with Dr. Yashir Juma and Khadija Imlan. So to introduce Dr. Yashir Juma, he is he finished his fisher's degree at Mindanao State University, which through RA 6060 was established. During the 2008 licensure examination, he placed first all over the Philippines. He also went to Japan as a part of JASU to conduct a proposal piece on research for his master's degree, which is a part of the University of the Philippines Visayas master's program. He got his doctorate degree from the same university and was a recipient of the DOST PICA-ARD Scholarship, which is one of the most prestigious scholarships here in the Philippines, but is now currently a board member of PICA-ARD himself. After his PhD, he went back to his hometown in Tawi-Tawi to share his experience and education to his fellow Tawi-Tawinians. And now, with the advent of technology, he aims to share everything to people beyond the island he is in. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Yashir Yujuma. Doc Yash?
Good afternoon. Thank you for your introduction. And of course, I would like to welcome to our facility, one of the facility of the College of Physics under Aquaculture Department, which is the floating cage. And here with us is Khadija Imlan, who is our MS candidate, MS Aquaculture candidate, where she is about to end her study on the Napoleon Wrasse. And with that, we would like also to share to you what she got or what she is into, particularly on the Napoleon Wrasse. We know that the Napoleon Wrasse is the most endangered species. So far, the sighting of this species in the wild is less than 10 individuals. According to the literature, it's only 0 to 5 sighting in the wild in 10,000 square meter coral. But of course, with that, that's why it is being placed as the endangered species. So with that, we would like also to bring you to our facility, which is the floating cage facility. With us is the manager of the facility or this cage, and a person of Mr. Abdul Nasser. It's in the IMDAN. And with his supervisions here at the stations, most of the students, particularly the MSU student, was able to finish their experiments. So the facility houses several species such as the tiger grouper, the panther grouper, and of course the Napoleon Wrasse and the Carens ignobilis. So with the small facility that we have here at the MSU-TCTO, particularly at the College of Fisheries, in particular the floating cage stations, which is located at the Ungal channels, we're able to come up with these particular studies, particularly on the commercially important fin fishes here at Tawi-Tawi. So we would like you to bring to Khadija its England presentations. I hope you are there, Khadija. So you may share your screen as to the presentation.
Hello, is is there oh, hello, Doc Yash. I'd like to ask if Khadija is already in the Zoom, if she needs I've already made her co-host. Ay, nakamute ko.
She's still at the I mean, she's still connecting. I think she got trouble on the connectivity. But of course, we are utilizing our our smart home Wi-Fi. So that's why. But I'm hoping that I am audible and clear to the Zoom.
Yes, yes, you're
Am I
audible
audible?
and clear.
So while waiting for Khadija, let me have some background on our facility,
Oh, Khadija is
particularly
also
on.
already, she's able to, share her screen na now.
Oh yeah, okay.
Maybe she's on mute lang. It's still loading.
Total length, height length, eye diameter, body width, and total length. The Napoleon Wrasse is found in the Indo-Pacific region, living around coral reefs from the Red Sea to the Indian and Pacific Oceans. It is particularly found of reef edges and lagoons with lots of coral cover. Perfect spots for a fish of its size. And speaking of, this can grow over 2 meters long and weigh close to 200 kilograms. But it's not just its size that makes it stand out. It has a distinctive hump on its head that becomes more prominent as it gets older. Body color vary between a dull blue-green to more vibrant green and purplish blues. Juveniles are a pale green color with long dark spots on the scales that may form from bars. There are two black lines situated at the back of the eye, and a yellow margin extends to the caudal fin. The Napoleon Wrasse is also fascinating when it comes to its biology. In Tawi-Tawi, if the species is sexually mature, it is called pehakan, referring to a male. Very large size with a prominent bump on the head, which is usually a male, it is called langkawit, considered as protogynous hermaphrodites. Maximum ages recorded were 25 years for males and 30 years for females. The Philippines is a
It seems that Miss Khadija got disconnected. Doc Yash, can you give us an update?
So unfortunately, Khadija was disconnected. So with that, we will try to proceed with the demonstrations of this pieces. Actually, our main goal is now is that to show you the color, the morphometrics, meaning the external parts and its measurement, as we do with our sampling, of course, initial morphometrics, and then of course final morphometrics. Another one is that we have the color morphologics. So color morphologic simply means about the colors. Um, my color morphologic simply about the color and the phenotypical structures of the color, which is the external colors of these organisms. We would like to emphasize that the color of these organisms has this color morphs, meaning the organisms is vary on the color, particularly on the early larvae to juveniles to fry or to fingerlings and to the as they go as they go maturity. And now I'm also what is the scope of this demonstration is more on the color morphology in captivity. So meaning what is the in the case, and then as you get it and then to the bucket, what's the color, and as you go with the what, so that's what if you have the this one without being very hard to have something. The Malaysia and of course the Philippines. So with I told you that the or the presence of this species is less than 10. square meter, 10 square meter for that's the endangered. Next, there is but now we don't have pieces because of the recruitment. The target of the species, the target of the trade is the size, meaning before that they're very already. So there's the recruitment overfishing. It will take place in our trade. So we people as we buy the color of the
Oh, it's very fascinating how difficult
I'm back.
your back. Sige.
I am
Siguro,
back. Am I audible?
yes, you're audible, Doc Yash. Maybe to save bandwidth, you can just retain your camera as turned off.
Okay. I would like to, if I'm still audible and visible, am I visible?
Yes, Doc Yash.
Still, am I, okay. So
Your audio.
I will try to have audio.
Doc Yash, your audio is very choppy. May we request that you turn off your camera lang so we can save bandwidth.
Okay. So how about like that? Do I have clear? Have a clear audio?
Yes, Doc Yash, your audio is clear, but your
Do I have
video, it's on pause.
do I have a clear audio now? Okay. So I do hope that I could show you the what you call that the footage of the Napoleon, because that is our main activity for today. So I do hope that we will the connectivity will resume to its normal. So if my video is already stable, I would like to show you the Napoleon Wrasse. Do I have a clear visual?
Can you please put your video on landscape because currently it's on portrait so that we get to have a wider scope of visual on your end.
Okay.
And Doc Yash, your
How about that?
yes, we can see your video.
We can see already.
Mm.
Okay. So how about this one? Did you see?
Yes, we can see. Yes, we can see.
Okay. So if it is already, you can see. So we will try to show you we have a setup here, and then we'll just try to show you the color morphology of the species. So this is the highlight, the main highlight of presentation of this activity. So we will get the fish from there, and one of the assistant will bring it to our here because we cannot move it here. And you can see, we'll just get the sample. So if you try to see, actually, that is the Napoleon Wrasse. This is the species Natchez undulatus. So far, this is belong to Labridae. And this is a commercial, and this is a fancy food considered as, because of this marking, color-morphologic or color morphs, they are considered as like a dragon. And then this is a ceremonial fish among Chinese belief, wherein eaten by the emperor, and of course served together with the abalone and some other fancy dishes. So with that, some of the establishment or the businessman believe it also as one of the species to be served during their openings, because it also bring lacks to the business and of the establishment or to whatever establishment that they have. So we will bring it to the transparent one so that you will be able to see how it look like. So this is the almost update size
plate size. Yeah. You try to see this is the color. So it's a greenness, and of course it has a marking as at the caudal tip, caudal pin tip, and of course it has a saw line and stripes with that. So if you try to put it here, is that they tend to become like a transparent as they change the color, but as the organisms, so they try to mimic the what do you call that, the container. So they try to have this change in their color. But if you try to see their markings, actually they are characterized by their leaves, and of course this organism is protogenous, meaning they started with a female, but the recruitment of this fish is they become mature at 5 years to 7 years. Early maturations take place in of course in the female, and later on their life, so the sequential hermaphrodites is they become male. This is by characterized by hamhead, but the shifting of their sex is some sort of with their age. As they go with, I think 7 to 10 years, they will shift to female to male, and they develop this hamhead. But of course, you cannot say that if the organism has this hamhead is they are already male or a male, because there is no sexual dimorphism as the species has the sequential hermaphroditism. So as of this moment, this organism is not mature. This is the target of the trade. So the target of the trade is the plate size. So you can see that we have this. You can have we
Okay, parang nag-freeze ata si Nancy. But the video is still visible for everyone. Can you just give me a thumbs up ba if you can still see the video? Okay. Everyone, thank you for being patient with us. No, it's quite difficult to have connectivity issues, especially when you're in the midst of presenting. But let's be patient lang muna. Doc Juma is back. Alay, your camera is off. Diba? Fun. I think you're on mute. We can't hear your audio. We still can't hear you. Cannot hear you yet. Hanggang ngayon, we cannot hear you. Maybe you can just disconnect your microphone. We still can't hear you. Ola, we still can't hear you. Hindi pa rin namin naririnig. Can you just disconnect your microphone? I think it's low battery. Sige daw. We can't hear your microphone. Wala pa rin. Wala pa rin. Oh, I'm just reading your lips if nagsasabi ka if meron na o wala pa, pero wala pa rin. Okay. I'll disconnect from interaction.
Wala pa rin. Alright, wala pa rin yung audio. But for the reference of everybody, the Napoleon Wrasse earlier, it was doing some sort of camouflage from its container, which was a dark blue, but when it was placed on a brighter container, it was clearly evident that there was a change in color, which simply shows that the said specimen is able to change their appearance in order to adapt sa kanilang environment. So far, that's the entire recap of what happened. And also, Napoleon Wrasse, given that they're hermaphrodites, they start as females and they would mature in 5 to 7 years, which in turn would change into males. And when that happens, a hump on their head becomes more prominent. Let's just wait for them to reconnect. No worries, guys, because after the meeting, we will be requesting Dr. Juma and Khadija Imlani to record their sampling so that you can witness in a clearer and smoother version if how they would be going about the sampling.
Anyway, am I audible already and clear? So let's go
Yes,
back
yes.
to the let's try to show you the characteristic of Napoleon Wrasse, because as I've told you that this is a fancy species, even sighting of it is very expensive actually. So if you try to see this species actually, is that's why I'm asking to the Tawi-Tawian, do you which do you prepare? Is that eating it or selling the Napoleon Wrasse, or making it as ecotourism? Because you cannot find it in the world in any parts of the world. No, it's very expensive even to sight or to see this. Why is it use it for a trade which is not sustainable? Selling at small price where you can in dollars using ecotourism, which is just identify the site for ecotourism, or just identify for diving site and make an advertisement, and that will attract tourists for the sighting of this Napoleon Wrasse, especially if the Napoleon Wrasse is already big, it's already huge, wherein they develop the hamhead. And this species is mostly residential. They are not go far because their concentration is within the coral reef areas. And the coral reef areas is the maximum of 100 meters. And the concentration is more or less 40 meters, something like that. So you can even see them even in your skin diving. So why keep selling this when you can even earn it in a sustainable way? That's one thing that we really have to promote in our area, as far as the country is the last frontier of this species, which is even Palawan could not showcase this species. It's only in the Tawi-Tawi we could afford to show the species in the wild. But still, the people still keep on harvesting it for LRA 50, because they thought that the species could sell it at a good price, but they don't consider the sustainability of this species. And now from the academic parts, we are promoting the sustainable way in event, showing that these organisms could be raised in captivity, and there is a tendency that after sometimes you could release it back, just so that there could be a, what do you call that? There could be a broodstock to release the young or to perform the spawning. So these species actually in the wild they form spawning aggregates. So when they form aggregates, they are very prone to dynamic fishing, because as they form the great number, and then that would attract the dynamic fishers. So that's why they always ended up ended up in the hands of the dynamic fishing. So here, let's go back, and then of course the organisms was able to recover, and you can see that the organisms is still swimming again, but we already put it here already in the. So now let's have the look when we put on the fresh water. So because our study here is to put on the fresh water, telling that if the organisms, since the organisms inhabited the coral reef, and the coral reef area is mostly oceanic, and they prepare oceanic salinity, what will happen if, let's say, you take the water bath because you are rearing them in captivity? What is the behavioral response, or what is the morphometrics response, or not morphometrics, the color morphometrics response when you put it into the other environments? So we will have the hypoosmotic shock. So kindly put it there. So here we have the fresh water. So the fresh water, so you can see that that is kicking and alive. So this organism, so now it swims in the fresh water. That is the rainwater. So the organism started to, to response to the fresh water. So it is struggling. Of course, the organisms, what do they effect for the hypoosmotic? So of course there would be a change in the ion radiations of the organisms. Organisms could not be able to breathe due to the oxygen affinity or the exchange of the ions with the environment. So in the responsible for this one adaptation is the chloride cells, which is the one that is supposedly picking up or excreting ions. But unfortunately, the organism is struggling due to the fact that it is into the new environment wherein the osmoregulation is reversed. So, in fresh water, the organisms tend to take up, tend to urinate in order, because the movement of the waters into their body, the body is hypersaline or hypertonic, so they tend to excrete more ions and more water, and so they need to drink more water. So, but unfortunately, in salt water, it's a reverse actions. So with this, you can see that the organ is struggling, but in our preliminary, it will only last for 1 hour before they will die. So we are also aware that the organisms could tolerate sometimes, depending on the food they take, especially on the image stimulants. So here, there are so many actually information that is lacked in Napoleon Wrasse. So that include like this one, the tolerance levels to the changing environments. There's also one of the information that is gap in science of Napoleon Wrasse. Since this organisms is endangered and limited in numbers, so opportunity to study like this one is very rare in some other university. So we are very fortunate that our university has the ability to collect with the gratuitous permit from the MAFAR. We are able to collect and study these organisms in captivity. So if you try to see, the organism is really, what you call that, is almost losing equilibrium. It is started to suffer from, started to minimize movement. So kindly retrieve it from the. So that is one of the way that organisms. Yeah. So if we could not, we try to retrieve it before it will die. to salt water. We are already showing the organisms putting in fresh water and of course anesthesia. But for the anesthesia, especially the clove oil, they go under darkening for the anesthesia. That's why we wanted also to try different anesthesia compounds for the optimizations of the species in the or for the optimizations, because we know that the color-morphologic is one of the indicator of the stressors of the if the organisms are undergoing stress or not. And with this Zoom, actually, we are very strict with the time. If it is already 4 o'clock, we will end up the Zoom. What time is it? 3:50. We have 10 minutes more to talk about the Napoleon Wrasse. So after this, actually, we are about to extract the blood, but we will not showcase it to you here because we will do a serious and a focused, what you call that, blood extractions. But we do hope that we could have a session for that to extract blood on via Zoom so that people could see the actual extractions of the blood. I think this is the first, the first attempt to extract blood from the Napoleon Wrasse. If because there is no study yet, what you call that? There's no study or activities conducted on blood extractions of the Napoleon Wrasse. So the color of the Napoleon Wrasse showing the diverse colors in the coral reef ecosystems. So if you try to see the most colorful ecosystem in the habitat, in the aquatic habitat or in the marine water, is that the coral reef. So with that, they have these different colors. So as you can see, as they blend with the environment, these organisms try to camouflage. And sometimes people is that because of their fancy colorful, they try to associate it with some beliefs such as the Napoleon Wrasse is being, what you call that, coined as the ceremonial fish, and that's one that really push these organisms to even to the local extinctions. So, and these organisms actually, where they spawn in aggregates, can be found here in Tawi-Tawi waters, wherein in some reports that it is in before they can see that in the Malaysia and of course Indonesia, but now it's still, because of the continuous, what you call the trade, these organisms could no longer, or even hard to find in some diving sites. So we are still here. We are very lucky here at Tawi-Tawi that we could still secure a good number of juvenile from the wild as far as the research is concerned. And when we do research, actually, we really have to secure permit, such as gratuitous permit from APAR. It's very strict implementations, and they have a list of requirements for gratuitous permit. That includes, of course, the letter from, and even the endorsement letter from the advisor. So I already endorsed the letter, and one of my advisors who passed away also wanted to do studies on Napoleon Wrasse, also secured gratuitous permit before she conducted the study. And of course, we are hoping that still we could still do research, particularly on, as we go with what you call that, with harboring or with the growth of the species in captivity. We are hoping that we could monitor their sex reversal, meaning their shifting of sex from female to male, in which I think the septic has this technology by just getting it from their skin, wherein we can say that this is already a male or a female, because of I'm not sure if what particular protein or that could be found in their skin, the technology behind those. But I have seen it, but I've read that by just crushing not performing the cannula, or not performing the stressful way of determining the egg and sperm, but they have this, scraping and from the skin, and then you can see that this organism is already male or female. So from the female, we hope that we can still harbor, or we can still house this organism until they become the male. So that, because that's one of the research gap in literature, we do not yet documented the shifting of the sex or sequential hermaphroditisms in this species. And we are hoping one day. So with that, we would like to end my presentation here. And we are hoping that we can still have more presentations or videos, especially videos, more to come about the Napoleon Wrasse. So far, it is only in Tawi-Tawi we could do research like this one, and we are hoping to perform many activities related to Napoleon Wrasse as far as the conservations and the stock enhancement concerns on this particular species.
All right, thank you, Doc Yash. I have sent a link at the chat box. It's a tawag dito. It is a for the evaluation form for this event so that we could give you certificates in appreciation for attending our Zoom meeting.